Some drivers have come very close to death during crashes. Today we're going to once again look at some very lucky drivers that survived some vicious wrecks. Shout out to everyone who commented on the last part to help me compile this video together. Also, right before the video starts, around 80,000 of you are returning to my channel every month, so if you find yourself coming back to my videos, make sure you subscribe so you never miss a video, and it helps me out a lot. Anyway, let's get right into it.
Steve Park and Larry Foyt.
What in the world?
I believe Foyt's a lap down because he made that penalty stop. I believe he was down to the inside trying to run up to the front on the double up.
Under caution for the 2001 Busch Series race at Darlington, Steve Park had a very strange wreck. His car suddenly took off to the left when Larry Foyt was trying to speed up to catch the front of the pack. Turns out, Steve Park's steering wheel came off and his front wheels just turned to the left. He was hit in the driver's side door and the contact sidelined Park for the rest of the season due to some significant bruising to the brain. When he came back to racing in 2002, it was just obvious he wasn't his usual self behind the wheel. He never won another Cup Series race, but he did go on to win a Truck Series race just a few years later in 2005.
Right back. Hard in the wall, turn 2. No other contact. Everybody slows up, and the caution flag will wave for the 5th time today.
Sachs was one of those 24 cars on the lead lap.
Former Firecracker 400 winner.
Not even halfway into the 1998 Texas 500, Greg Sachs had this massive hit. He tried to get underneath Jeff Bodine, got loose, then got turned into the outside wall. Sachs had life-threatening nerve and brain damage from the wreck. He wasn't released from the hospital for about a week. Doctors stated that Sachs stretched the nerves in the nerve center for his left arm. This and other damage prevented Sachs from being able to walk for weeks. Since then, Greg has made a full recovery, but never really had a legitimate cup ride after the wreck.
Front 4, single file. Ruttman slots in 4th, and now Andy Houston 5th. Here's the race for 6th place. Jimmy Hensley, number 16, and a Setzer hard in the wall.
He did. I don't know if he locked the brakes or what happened, but boy, he did go hard into that wall.
More trucks involved there. That's Jack Sprague, number 24, on fire there.
Rob Morgan and Sprague piled in. It did not look as if Setzer had steering control or brakes as that car came off the wall.
Look, both sides of the front of the truck is just crammed in. The back is...
Dennis Setzer had this scary wreck in the opening laps of the 2000 Loudon truck race. Just like Adam Petty and Kenny Irwin Jr., Dennis Setzer had a stuck throttle. Irwin and Petty had both died as a result of stuck throttles at the track earlier in the same year. Luckily, Setzer wasn't even injured in this wreck, and in fact, he'd go on to win the next Truck Series race at Nazareth. I've also done a video on this wreck on my other channel in more detail if you would like to see that.
Worst thing that happened all day was this. Christian Elder loses control of his Brad Aikens Ford up in 3 and 4. Car shoots up the racetrack, belts the outside wall. The right front and the right side take the brunt. Look at how hard that car hit the wall and how badly wrinkled it is.
In qualifying for the 2002 Busch Series race at Chicagoland, Christian Elder suffered this horrible wreck. His car was destroyed. The right side was flattened like a pancake. As a result of the wreck, Elder suffered a major concussion and a broken collarbone. This ended his NASCAR career instantly. Unfortunately, Elder would pass away just 5 years after the accident.
At 8:40 in the morning, point contender Ernie Irvin experienced a horrible crash. After completing a 10-lap practice run, Ernie had decided to return to the pits. While coming through turn 2, where speeds averaged 170 miles an hour, an apparent cut tire sent Irvin violently into the wall.
In practice for the 1994 GM Goodwrench Dealer 400, Ernie Irvin suffered a major wreck. There is not any footage of the wreck, but this is basically what happened. Irvin had just finished up a practice run and he decided he was going to pit. He was coming through turn 2 and then he suffered a cut tire. He impacted the wall viciously and suffered a fractured skull, a swollen brain, and a collapsed lung. Reportedly, a doctor at the track saved Ernie from drowning in his own blood. At the time of the wreck, Ernie was second place in points. Of course, he wouldn't be able to return to the driver's seat that year and most of the next season. However, after he got back into the Cup Series full-time, he would go on to win 3 more races in his career.
I said, well, at best, he'd have to make fist up. At worst, he'd be in the wall in the Remax Chevrolet.
Meanwhile, while you're watching this action going on, there's some action there with Andy Houston and Scott Hansen. They're side by side. That's a battle for 19th. Oh, and there goes Corelli.
There goes Corelli. I wonder if the left front tire is what caused that. A lot of damage to the right side. I went, oh my goodness.
Rick Corelli was racing at Memphis in 1999 when a tire rub caused his left front tire to blow, causing him to hit the wall almost head-on. He ran around the track for a handful of laps with a tire rub, and the tire just eventually gave out. Corelli suffered a basal skull fracture, damaged his carotid artery, and sinus. A basal skull fracture took the lives of many drivers and ended many careers. Rick was very lucky, and recovered relatively quickly. In fact, he'd go on to win a race at Richmond the very next season.
This is so much fun. Bad news for Dave Marcus fans. Oh, no, and Larry Pearson's going to slam the wall as he turns it around. Oh! And Charlie Glotzbach T-bones him. Red flag is immediately displayed at start-finish.
With just 4 laps to go in the Scott's Easy Seat Showdown at Bristol, Larry Pearson spun out and hit the wall. Seconds later, Charlie Glotzbach T-boned Larry's car. According to reports, both drivers were knocked unconscious at the moment of impact. Several minutes later, Charlie was able to get out of his car and walk away with an oxygen mask on. However, Larry had to be cut out of the car. A couple of drivers withdrew from the event following the wreck. But Pearson, he suffered a broken pelvis, he had leg and ankle fractures, and a broken wrist. Due to the severity of the accident, and not wanting to risk any further injuries in the future, the event was not ran after this.
It's fabulous watching this.
Uh-oh! Kyle Petty! And he takes out Sterling Marlin. And Mark Martin somehow gets by, and Kyle's going in the wall head on.
Oh, terrific impact for Kyle Petty.
Boy, that was a big hit.
Crashes in turn 4.
Kyle Petty was running in second place in the Brickyard 400 and cut a right front tire. He slammed the outside wall, slammed into Sterling Marlin, hit the outside wall again, then sped up and hit the inside wall. Kyle Petty was sore and beat up, but was released from the care center without injury. This wreck could have been so bad, given the speeds, the angle of the wall, and getting T-boned by Marlin. When you consider other crashes from the time, it's wild to think he escaped without injury. Anyways guys, there's definitely going to be a part 3, so let me know some of your suggestions down in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure you leave a like and subscribe so you never miss a video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.